Hello, everybody. Do not adjust your sets. It's that time of the witching hour when we're going to talk about blood and guts, and and Michael's going to put red lights on ambiently in the background as we talk about Michael's or Beauty in Chaos, the new song, which is about bloodletting. But first, just to bring it back down to some kind of corporate, cleanness, let's have a man and his laptop.
I need to get going, Mel. See you later.
Michael, it's always good to see you, sir.
Yeah, that is one cool little device. I could be using that right now.
It is very, very cool. It is. It raises your screen up on your laptop, which is great. And I actually wrote a piece about it this week because I said, if you don't have these things, right, two things, bad for your neck, but also you get that double chin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That seems to come no matter what, but...
Oh dear, oh dear. So you've got a single out, Bloodletting, the vampire song, which has got you singing on it, sir, which is great. In fact, you've got lots of people singing on it. But you're can I say growling on it? Because that's you've got a lovely growl.
It's it is what I do. I mean,
it's what you
really
do.
What I got, but it's a always loved the song. It's written by Concrete Blonde, Jeanette, and that whole record was fantastic. And that song always resonated to me. Just the whole New Orleans vibe of it.
Yeah.
I was recently, probably 6 months ago, my wife and I, we went to New Orleans. My producer and partner in Beauty and Chaos, Michael Ciravolo, was playing pedal steel with Jerry Cantrell. He played some stuff on the record and he got to tour with him. So they were playing New Orleans, and being a native, I'm kind of the tour guide. So I kind of took him and his girlfriend Kiki and some of the band, and we went through some of the seedy parts of the French Quarter, trying to find the St. Louis Cathedral, and going down some of those back streets. I remember kind of was reminded how kind of dark and creepy my hometown could be, and that's popped in my head again. And as we got closer to Bourbon Street, where they start having all the clubs, you can hear like some distant saxophone and stuff wailing. And there was some bizarre stuff in some of those dark streets. This woman jumped out of this little box on the ground and screamed, and it's creepy, but I love my city, and I just thought that would be something nice to put out as a placeholder. And then we had the idea of doing it, for Halloween, and it's tongue in cheek, but the song is actually beautiful. The video was tongue in cheek, but we certainly approached the song trying to do it justice. And I think the saxophone is just wonderful.
I was going to mention that. You mentioned the sax a minute ago, but the sax solo is tremendous, isn't it? I mean, sax solos can either be awful or brilliant.
Yeah, they were, I always thought Mars and the Psychedelic Furs was just amazing. They're one of my favorite bands, and I've seen them live, and fantastic showman, and plays, almost guitar-like parts. And I happened to be introduced to him online through it kind of went from Wayne Hussey introducing me to Tim Palmer, Tim Palmer introducing me to Richard Fortus, who actually had played a solo in one of our remixes, but Richard plays now in Guns N' Roses. But he was also played in Love Spit Love with Richard Butler, and he happened to be producing the last Furs record. So I just asked him, I said, do you think Mars would be interested in playing? And he introduced us, and, Mars did it. He stepped up, kind of gave him freedom, and I think he enjoyed doing the kind of weird avant-garde stuff.
Yeah.
And it worked well. I think the really happy with the way the whole track came out. And, uh, I'm not going to replace our really fantastic singers with me, but I thought if I was going to do one, this might be one to try.
Well, yeah, but you do a grand job on it as
Yeah,
well. I think you're somewhere between you've got power to your voice, which is great, and then there's that little bit of Tom Waits in there as well, isn't there?
it might have just been a late at night, but I my wife and a couple of people say the New Orleans accent comes through, and I
Yeah.
don't know. I guess I don't hear that, but for that song, that would be actually, if it does, that's actually cool. And actually, a friend knows Johnette and sent her the track, and she kind of wrote back, said, "Really cool, honored." And I'm like, the honor's all mine. I'm glad she liked it and didn't think that we just went and kind of ruined a brilliant song.
Well, you didn't. No, I think it's lovely when someone loves a song first before they cover it. I think that's important.
Yeah, it
You
kind of,
know?
well, yeah, I think you end up approaching it from a different perspective, and that's how we went in it. And as we were, doing it, kind of the idea of doing the song and the video and everything came together. Even though, like I said, the video is a bit more, tongue in cheek and played up in the whole B movie vampire hunter type thing. But it was fun. I got together a bunch of friends. We did it in a night, and you know had some fun and had a lot. I mean, people who follow Beauty and Chaos will, end up recognizing people in it. Besides my wife, Kat, Leon, Whitney Ty, Betsy Martin, they all kind of came out and had fun doing it.
Yeah. So listen, you must be getting ready for Christmas and 2023. What's 2023 going to hold for Beauty and Chaos?
I always say gonna slow down, but it never happens.
Oh, you won't slow down.
I
Shut
just
up.
got a text as I'm sitting here from Michael Rosan, like, "Hey, you free to work tonight?" Uh, you know, uh, October was probably the busiest month we've ever had. Besides recording, mixing, mastering, bloodletting, we did the video. We had just finished unveiled the whole documentary making of that last record, Behind the Veil. And then Tish and I also agreed to rejoin Gene Loves Jezebel and play a couple of shows in
Yeah, you're mad. You're mad. You just October. You were mental.
Yeah, it was nutty. And a couple points I almost cracked, but because we hadn't played. I mean, I realized the last Jezebel show with the whole like COVID thing hitting in that big blank of time was over 2 years ago. So we hadn't played. We agreed to do. It was a good idea to do this unannounced, unrehearsed show in Long Beach that like 30 people found out about. And it was fun. It was kind of baptism again under fire.
Yeah.
But going to Mexico and which, I have a lot of really great friends there from Human Drama being so popular in Mexico. So it was a nice welcome by all of them going back there. But getting to play in the bill with the Mission was fantastic, and those shows went great. So that was that was October.
Yeah.
So
it looked it from all the photos and stuff that was coming off online about it. It just looked like you were having a whale of a time.
Yeah, I mean, it was proper shows. The Mexican people are just wonderful. They definitely gravitate to the, at least that crowd is way more into it. The words, the just coming out and supporting, and it's not lost on me that the economy there is worse than here. So I mean, those people paying, what some people in Los Angeles will spend going up to Starbucks, is a lot harder for them to do, and them coming out and to those shows was just meant a whole lot more. And so your question about what next, I guess, with Michael's doing the new Ministry record again, I think this is his second or third album he's producing with Al. So he kind of works with them at least 4 nights or 4 days. So our studio time gets a little tougher to come by now, which is okay. So we started one song, which went into 2 songs. So my idea was, he's going on tour again late February for, I think, 6 weeks with Jerry Cantrell again. So I started going, well, if we can finish a song, we can get us another song out and do a video, which I think would be good. So I guess I'm thinking more like the time it would. Oh, I got a visitor.
Hey, dog. Yay. Hello. Oh, lovely.
We lost his sister
Oh, no.
month, which was still kind of wrenching my heart. But so the idea, I think it would take us so long to do a full length record, to sit down and do 7, 8 songs, whatever it would take, to fill up a record. So I guess my idea is maybe come out with a couple of singles, just singles, not like radio singles, but just doing individual tracks, and if possible, a video to back it up or something. I guess as Finding Beauty in Chaos is over 4 years old now, we've put out 3 studio records and then 3 remix records, which are all big listens.
Right.
Time-wise. And I don't know what people's attention span is anymore. I don't know if people, there are some, which I'm grateful for, that will sit down and listen to an album in its entirety, at least one side of a record. But I guess maybe all these signs are telling me, maybe put out individual things. Maybe that would get a little more attention.
Well, and at the end of the day, isn't it about just keeping busy? And in a way,
I mean, I got no notions about, at this point, this being my livelihood or being a rock star or anything, that I got into it when I was, 15. But I like coming out with stuff. I like the idea of thinking, how can we do a video? How can we do these things to make it, just have fun with it? And
you never know who's going to be at the end of the telephone line, because I mean, every time I speak to you, and you've always got these stories about, like you did a minute ago, and I spoke to such and such, and such spoke to such and such, and then they said, and then this person, but those opportunities spark the next thing happening sometimes, don't they? Because you just never know who's going to turn up in your little black book.
Yeah, this has been, I mean, it's sort of the entire way that Beauty in Chaos has sort of unfolded. When I go back to late 2017, early 2018, when Roseanne turned around and said, why don't you do your own record? And I said, yeah. And that whole thing of, okay, I'm not really a singer. I don't have really any songs right now, but we said yes. So it just kind of happened, that people said yes as far as singing. We had a blast doing the music that we presented them. So yeah, it kind of really has unfolded in a kind of organic but really beautiful way. And I like to think, I mean, I always state that no one does this for money. No one has ever just phoned in their parts like, yeah, all right, kid, I'll do a vocal for you. They've really put their heart and soul into it. And I think that the documentary, when you hear the 6 ladies talk about doing this record, I think that really highlights that. But,
Was that a funny process to go through? The
documentary?
Sitting, film you talking about it all.
And we did it differently. I wanted to look at it from as sort of a surprise. I didn't when all the ladies sent the footage, even my wife, I didn't see what they said. When Ryan from Jammerzine was talking about wanting to do it, we kind of put together, well, maybe we'll give him these questions.
Oh, so it's a bit like one of these house makeover things where, like,
yeah, so
you know it's going on. You've seen little bits of each room, but you're blindfolded. And then you come in and it's like, oh,
yeah. All the ladies were told is just kind of there wasn't going to be a person asking them the question, and they just spoke. And then we had Whitney's Gab team put it together, and they made it what I think is an enjoyable watch. I think it really shows it not just the making of this record. I think it kind of encompasses everything that I like to think Beauty and Chaos is, and it was really touching to hear, for the first time watching the edit, like hearing what they all said about doing this. But
did you cry, Michael? Come on.
Yeah, I shed a tear or two.
Yeah, I thought you did.
No, really. I mean, it was nice hearing like Cynthia going, I think he reached into my soul with his music. And it's like, wow.
Yeah,
we've been fortunate, I get going, you got to really knack for like matching the right person to the song. And I guess when me and Michael will create a piece of music, which is to me not a song until it goes to a singer and they do something with, in my head I start hearing, maybe this would be good for this person, he or she, and it just seems to work out. I mean, a lot of things just seem to work out with Beauty and Chaos. So, I mean, that's a true blessing. I don't look at it as a gift. It just works. And I think, Beauty and Chaos has, I think, opened some people's ears to some artists they might not have heard, before. And I find that a true joy. I think I've probably said this before, maybe when you and I've talked, that first record, being that it had names, when you start Wayne Hussey, Simon Gallup, Robin Zander, like these names, people that have sold lots of records, it certainly had the danger of possibly overshadowing and becoming like a who's who of this. And I think it could have ended after that record when there wasn't any bigger names in my little black book. So I think the path that we took of just finding great singers, lyricists, and putting them together with these songs has been really enjoyable. And it goes both ways. Most of the fan bases of all these artists have really open their arms to Beauty and Chaos also. So
I was going to say that to me, it really feels like a community. I mean, what's been really nice is actually not only have I continued to talk to you afterwards, but I've continued to talk to the other artists involved online, and people just chat, which is lovely. And I feel there's that about the project, which is different from some projects that I know where everyone stays aloof slightly from it. It does feel like a group of really nice people that are just want
family. They are really, besides being talented people, they're really great people. And through doing this, even if I've just known people as acquaintance, we've become even better friends by doing this. And like I said, they really enjoyed it. And I'm kind of looking now on some of these new songs, going back to some of the people that have appeared before. And I have a couple of new people that I just haven't gotten, due to time and scheduling between both of us to do. So we'll see. I sent one song to a singer that I've been wanting to work with. And I'm supposed to hear back today. They were going to jump on it. So maybe my idea of getting a song out and done with a early March release it could come to fruition. I mean, much to Michael Rozon's chagrin, I'm always the one that's like a deadline, and he's got that, studio brain of it's ready when it's ready. And I'm going, well, with Pro Tools and this, it never has to be ready. You can keep keep doing more and adding and changing and everything like that. So I've always given us a deadline. Like this I've already said, to whoever's listening, the record is coming out on this date. Now we have to roll back. So it needs to be mixed by this date to get it mastered by this date. And I think I drive him a little bit crazy with that, but I think that's the only way to finishing something.
And Michael, you and I both know that 2023 is going to be the year that Robert says yes. Because he still hasn't managed to get any of his albums out. So,
yeah, that's very true. But
he's although he's starting to play some of that new stuff live, which
great songs.
Which yeah, they are, which means that we're all now on tenterhooks waiting. But he seems to be getting better at collaborating and getting other people's songs out. So you never know. 2023, it could just happen. Right?
I think he just put that Cure record on hold to finish a track with us.
That's right. That's exactly it. Oh, there's the exclusive that we're going for anyway.
Yeah, that's some clickbait right there.
Yeah, we can't deny it.
But we can't confirm it either.
We can't confirm it at all.
No, but I've been listening to some of the live things that I'll see on some of the forums that I check out for the band. And the new songs are fantastic that the Cure are doing. I think it's finally that where they did Trilogy, where it was Pornography, Disintegration, Blood Flowers. It sounds like this song would be the fourth in that installment, which I think is what, Cure fans really wanted. They've been promised this dark record. And it sounds like some of the band members, including Robert, have gone through some dark stuff. And I think, a lot of times it takes that, sadly, but to pull that out, you can't
manufacture that, can you?
Yeah, if you manufacture it, I think it becomes, phony and just like I'm being dark because I want to be dark because it's cool. And I don't think that's not stuff that's going to have longevity.
No, not at all. What are you actually doing for Christmas this year? Anything special?
Nicole's coming in town from New York, and Sophia lives back here. So, we're a small family, so we have the four of us. Sadly, like I said, Bella, our standard poodle, is no longer with us. We got Bella and Champ together a little over 12 years ago. So that's going to be a little different not having her, but we got the boy.
What color poodle was Bella?
She was the brown one.
She was brown.
Yeah. So we went to get, my wife surprised me and said, we're going to get a dog for your birthday 12 years ago. So our kids were younger. So you go with two kids to go get to pick out a dog from a breeder. And then you send two little girls into this room that have 10 little 5 or 6 week old poodle puppies on the floor, and they're jumping on them and they're naming them and everything. And it's like, we want to get one each. It's like, no way you come out with one. So we got them both. But,
your publicity company are now going, why are they talking about poodles now? But I had to ask because funnily enough, my nan's poodle that I grew up with was called Bella.
Yeah, I think she was named before she was the runt of that litter. And I think my daughters were very into Twilight at that point. So that's where she came from. But I don't know if we'll ever, I think when we're ready for another dog, maybe a partner for Champ, we'll definitely do a rescue. There's too many animals in need of homes.
Well, listen, I hope you have a lovely Christmas. I look forward to it. We'll speak again in 2023 because you'll do something. And
yeah, I always appreciate our talks. I take none of this for granted. And I appreciate the stuff you do with the other artists that have been part of this,
Oh, always.
A couple of hundred of you, I think, would be more well known.
I don't know whether you saw. I don't know whether you saw my post the other week, Michael. But unbelievably, this podcast actually appeared in the top 20 in the music podcast.
I did see that. That's fantastic.
What? Why? What on earth are you lot doing? Oh dear, some people must be mad. That's all I can think.
Yeah, I mean, I think people see when somebody does it for the right reason and it's genuine, and you kind of come in knowing something about the. I mean, we've talked a bunch and we kind of are on the same wavelength. But I've done interviews, and again, I appreciate everything. I take none for granted, but you can kind of tell that they haven't really listened to what you're doing, and it's just their job. And you kind of end up having to guide the interview, and that's a little tough, but
okay. And you'd love a biscuit, wouldn't you, from you're listening to
yeah, it's kind of like, oh, and then wow, they just asked me that same question. Now they're asking it in a different way, and your brain's starting to go, how do I answer it a different way? So and are they going to ever ask about this, which I know I should be telling.
Are they ever actually going to ask about music, or are they just going to find out whether I like Angel Delight or not?
Sean has been fantastic from Shameless, getting people to talk, and like you and I've developed friendships with a lot of those people, and I've to the point where I can go, hey, I'd like to introduce you to Whitney, or hey, did you hear the new Holy War single, or something like that. And I think that's always that's fun, and
yeah.
Enjoy doing that.
Do you have I've got to ask this, do you have a sort of ban on continuous Christmas music in your house over Christmas, or is there a Christmas favorite for you?
I always love the Bing Crosby, David
the
Bowie.
Old stuff, right?
My wife loves Christmas. We have our tree up. She was determined the day after Thanksgiving that we were going to do the tree. So, she really enjoys the house. Not that I don't, but to me, it's a little early. But there's been, we've had the movie nights with the favorites and already, and it's just, it's still must be 2 weeks away, but she has Christmas music playing. We get in the car, there's Christmas stuff, but I'm not sure. I probably have to put on the Mission and Slade doing Merry Christmas, Everybody. I always love that day. To me, it's the old stuff. It kind of brings you back to your childhood when things were simpler. And
yeah, I agree. I once did a radio show that was all sort of like 1920s to 1940s music. It was like a late night show, and when you play some of those really well orchestrated, because they were really well orchestrated,
very
old Christmas songs, then the effort that went into those is absolutely amazing. And when you think how crap the recording equipment was as well, it's amazing how much of a great sound they got.
Yeah, but then you'll hear people try to like take some of those tapes and redo them and remix it, and I don't think they better it.
It doesn't.
You had to focus that anything you did had to be the right part. There wasn't a lot of experimenting. I mean, some of that stuff, it was just a placement to where in the room to have it.
Yeah, it used to be literally, Gary, you're too loud. Move further away.
But when
I love that.
When you hear those singers, and they don't have the benefit of auto-tune, or hey, let me try punch that, or let's fly that in from the first verse again. You
realize they were brilliant.
Yeah, that's talent, and I think some of that, we've talked before. I think sometimes it's too easy to make music, which I think has been, it's definitely brought some talent that may have not had a chance, but it also it's diluted the pool a lot to where I think it's lessened people's interest in it. There's like you're inundated, like with TV shows, there's like too much, and I think people with that, I think they miss some true gems.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, listen, you have yourself and your family. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
And same to you, man. I hope that everybody gets well over there.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, we've spent the whole of the weekend running around the country trying to find pharmacists that are open. I had had a telephone call at 2:00 in the morning yesterday from the doctor. For it's taking like 11 hours to get a call back from a doctor, and these at the moment it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Hopefully the world might settle into some kind of normality in 2023.
Yeah,
we need a little bit of that.
I hope there's something that kind of changes people's perspective and the way they treat each other and treat the planet and animals, and it needs a shaking. It's a great 2023. I think
would be great.
Humanity needs it. You would think that the whole lockdown and COVID would have maybe made people see what really mattered, family and things like that. But I think it's made some people a little cuckoo, maybe the isolation. But hey, we'll end it on positive. I hope 2023 is great for you, my friend.
It will be. It will be good. In the meantime, go and listen to Bloodletting, the vampire song. It's available online, and you can go to the usual places, Bandcamp, etc. It will be on all of the little black box in the corner services as well.
They don't need any promo.
but but go and put 10p in the jar, as it were, for artists. And not just Michael, all of the artists out there. Let's just say this, because this will be one of the last interviews I do before Christmas. Just over Christmas, just pay for a little bit of music, please.
Music is always a good gift for someone, other than a
beautiful thing
or something that ends up in a garage sale later.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, if you go to Bandcamp, you can do that with any track. You can actually gift it to somebody else. So why not do that? Give someone the gift of music this Christmas. Imagine that on Christmas Day, they open up their email and then there's a little download for them and just go like, well, there you go. That might just put a smile on somebody's face. And it will put a smile on the artist's face as well, and everybody will have a lovely Christmas. There we go. I think I sold that. So
I'm gonna go buy some stuff right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I might do it as well. Michael, it's been a pleasure seeing you again. I look forward to seeing you in 2023. Okay, and we'll talk about the new album with exclusively somebody called Robert on it.
Bob.
we don't
know Bob.
we don't know which Robert, but it might have a Robert on it. Okay, Michael, take care. Have a good year. Bye for now. Bye.